Welcome to Book Solid, the home service growth podcast. Helping service businesses capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into book jobs.
Your automated reply came in 30 seconds after the homeowner sent a message. Great. Then the homeowner says, the furnace stopped 2 hours ago. The house is getting cold and I need someone tonight. And your system asks, what type of service do you need? That is not fast service. That is a customer being trapped in a questionnaire. The homeowner has already told you the equipment, the problem, the timing, and what they want next. This is the moment when automation should stop asking and a person should step in. Because automation should start the conversation, not own every conversation.
Welcome to Booked Solid, the home service growth podcast. If you run a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, or other home service business, this podcast is for you. Most service companies do not have a lead problem. They have a missed call and slow follow-up problem. And even when the response is technically fast, the customer can still leave if the next step feels confusing or impersonal. I'm Jeff. In each episode, I share practical systems that help you capture more calls, respond faster, and book more jobs without adding unnecessary complexity or office staff. Today, we are talking about the handoff line, the point where automation has done enough and a human needs to take over. You can build this with 3 simple triggers, 1 accountable owner, and a clear response expectation. Let's get into it.
Here is the situation in full. It is a Wednesday evening in the middle of winter. An HVAC company has an after-hours response running for web leads and text messages. A homeowner writes, "Our furnace stopped 2 hours ago. We have 2 kids in the house, the temperature is dropping, and I already checked the thermostat and changed the filter. Can someone come tonight?" The system replies, "Thanks for contacting us. What type of service do you need?" The homeowner has already answered that question. That is the handoff moment. But instead of alerting someone, the system asks for more information. The homeowner replies, "Emergency furnace repair." Then another prompt arrives. "Please provide more details." Now the homeowner explains that the furnace is blowing cold air. A third message asks for a preferred appointment window. From inside the office, that may look like a well-organized intake process. From the homeowner's side, it feels like talking to a wall that keeps handing over another worksheet. They still do not know whether anyone has seen the message. They do not know whether help is available tonight, and they may already be calling another contractor. A human response could be simple. "I see that your furnace is down and the house is getting cold. I'm notifying our on-call team now. Someone will contact you shortly with the next step." That message does not diagnose the furnace or promise something the company cannot deliver. It simply tells the customer clearly that a person has taken ownership.
That is the real distinction. Automation is useful when it can move a straightforward conversation forward. It can confirm that a missed call was received. It can share business hours, service areas, or a scheduling link. It can collect basic details for a routine maintenance request. But some conversations involve risk, uncertainty, money, confusion, or strong emotion. Those conversations need judgment and reassurance. A message sent is not the same as a customer helped. A form completed is not the same as a job booked. The system has to recognize when its job is finished. I like to organize the handoff around 3 words: urgency, friction, and human request. First, urgency. Look for the meaning behind the message, not just the word emergency. A leaking ceiling, no heat, visible sparks, a burning smell, flooding, overflowing sewage, or active roof damage should not sit in a normal scheduling sequence. The automation does not need to diagnose the problem. It only needs to recognize that the message deserves human attention and route it correctly. The response should also be honest. If your company does not provide 24-hour service, do not imply that a technician is already on the way. A clear expectation is better than a comforting promise your team cannot keep.
Second is friction. If the customer keeps repeating the problem, correcting the system, or answering questions they already answered, that is friction made visible. Maybe they write, "I already told you the water is coming through the ceiling." Maybe they say, "I'm not sure what you mean." Maybe they ask which option to choose. That is not a reason to send a longer automated message. It is a reason to bring in a person who can make the next step easier. Pricing questions deserve attention too.
How much will this cost may sound simple, but the answer can depend on the repair, the equipment, the warranty, the access, or what is included in the visit. A canned answer can feel evasive. A team member can explain what affects the price and move the customer toward the right appointment. Third is the human request. If someone says, "Can I speak with a person? Please have someone call me," or "I need a real person," believe them. Do not make them complete another automated step first. The best systems are not the ones that talk the most. They are the ones that know when to stop talking. Now, how do you put this into practice? Start by writing the triggers in plain language. Do not create 25 rules on the first day. Begin with the 3 categories: urgent conditions, repeated or confused replies, and a direct request for a person. Use the language your customers actually use. They may not say active property damage. They may say the ceiling is dripping again. They may not say equipment failure. They may say it quit and will not turn back on. Review recent texts, web forms, and call notes. Those conversations will give you better trigger language than a meeting room guess. Then decide who gets the alert. Not the office. Name the role. During business hours, it might be the dispatcher or service coordinator. After hours, it might be the on-call manager. If the answer is everybody, the answer is probably nobody. One person or one clearly assigned role needs to own the next action. That does not mean they personally solve every issue. It means they confirm that the alert was seen and that the customer has a path forward. For example, a plumbing company might send urgent after-hours alerts to the on-call manager. The manager sees the trigger, reviews the conversation, and either calls the customer or assigns the next person. No guessing, no waiting for someone else to notice.
The handoff also needs context. The person taking over should see the customer's contact details, the service type, the complete message history, the trigger that caused the alert, and the next step the customer requested. Do not make the homeowner repeat, "The furnace stopped 2 hours ago. The house is getting cold, and I already changed the filter." If the person calling starts from 0, the handoff feels like another delay. A good alert might say, "Urgent language detected, HVAC inquiry, after-hours request, customer reports no heat, full conversation attached, callback requested." That gives the team member a running start. Finally, set a response expectation. Maybe the message says, "A team member will call within 15 minutes during on-call hours." Or if the request is not urgent, "We will review this first thing in the morning and contact you by 8. Only promise what the team can consistently deliver. The exact number matters less than the clarity. Silence creates uncertainty. Even when a technician cannot arrive immediately, a clear update can keep the customer from feeling abandoned and looking elsewhere.
Then test the process in real conditions. Send a test message about an active leak. Send one that asks for a person. Send several confused replies. Test during business hours and after hours. Watch what happens for 1 week. How many alerts were created? How many were answered? How long did the response take? Did the responder have the complete conversation? Did the customer book, need another next step, or disappear? You are looking for gaps, not perfection. Maybe the urgent message is recognized, but the after-hours alert reaches no one. Maybe the alert arrives without a phone number. Maybe the team responds quickly, but does not tell the customer what happens next. Fix those gaps before adding more rules. If every minor question creates an urgent alert, the important alerts can get buried. Start with the situations where human attention is most likely to protect the relationship and the revenue. And remember, the objective is not simply to answer faster. It is to move the customer confidently toward the right next step, a booked appointment, a technician callback, or a clear explanation that helps them decide. So here is the takeaway. Let automation handle speed and routine information. Draw a clear handoff line when the conversation shows urgency, friction, or a request for a human. Define those triggers using your customer's own words. Assign one accountable owner. Pass along the full context. Set an honest response expectation. Then test the process for a week and fix the gaps you find. That simple system can help a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, or other home service company capture more of the opportunities it is already generating. Automation should start the conversation, not trap the customer in it.
For more practical ideas, download the free guide, 107 Quick Wins for Home Service Businesses at ProfitPulse.biz. It is built to help you find straightforward improvements your team can put into action without adding unnecessary complexity. Thanks for listening to Booked Solid, the Home Service Growth Podcast. If this episode helped, subscribe so you do not miss future conversations about capturing calls, responding faster, and booking more jobs. And if you know another contractor who could benefit, share the show with them. Until next time, keep building systems that turn more calls into booked jobs.